Welcome back to another episode of the Unapologetically Me with ADW podcast, and I'm your host. Today I have a special guest. I am welcoming Antonio Wright to the podcast. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
I'm glad to have you. You're actually my first male podcast guest. So I'm excited.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited
Okay.
about it. So how has your day been? How has your week been leading up until today? So today's Saturday, so yeah.
It's been I would say busy. Um, I just started a new job, so it's a lot of intaking of information and just a lot. So I would say like normally I would stay up a little later, but as soon as I get home, it's like lights out.
Yeah. So your new
Yeah.
job, is it in your field is coaching?
Yeah. Actually counseling.
Counsel. Okay. Okay.
Counseling. Yeah.
So how has that been going? You enjoying it? You
For the most part, I would say yes. I don't want to speak too much
yeah, I understand.
on it and new. So like I said, it's more so just taking in a lot of information at one
Yeah.
time. And trying to retain as much as possible before they actually, throw you to the wolves.
Yeah, I understand. So before we get too much into it, for the listeners, for the viewers who's going to watch this, who's going to hear this, just take a moment to tell them your name, where you're from, and how you came into coaching.
Okay. Antonio Wright, owner of the from Durham, North Carolina, born and raised country boy. Um, I came into this field to help children, at-risk youth that need some type of guidance. Today's society, a lot of young boys and young women don't have a father figure there. They don't have a role model, a mentor, or anything to help guide them and show them what not to do. I didn't have it in my life, so I know what it means to not have it, but also I know what it means to actually do have it, to help people, to show guidance, just to give back what I didn't have when I was younger.
Okay, I understand it. That's really good because like today you don't really see a lot of that. Like let's say something like a
Hmm.
mentorship program, you really don't see a lot of that focuses on the youth,
Yeah,
and they're coming up, so they really need help. They need guidance. They need somebody to talk to. So I love
exactly.
that's real good. I love that. So how did you like as far as coaching? For me, I started coaching in November of last year. So
Hmm.
I can say that I didn't even know what a life coach was. Like I'm from Louisiana. So you
Okay.
never hear anybody talk about coaching or a life coach or anything like that. And I kind of just went through a season of transition, a lot of change. So I always was a positive person, always, how to speak life into somebody. I've always been motivating,
Hmm.
but I never looked at it as a gift.
Yeah,
So, for me to be doing a podcast, to have a YouTube channel, it's like it's just completely mind blowing because I've always been, real laid back to myself.
hmm.
So I say all that to say, how did you like know coaching was for you? Was it were you always like motivating to people, or how did you know?
Um, I would say it stemmed from my friends and family. I remember one day I was on the phone with my friends and I got pulled over by the police. I guess I was speeding, you know. And when they pulled me over, not only did one cop come, it was like three cops behind him. And I was like, kind of baffled, what's going on in the world. But during that time, I just stayed calm. It is what it is. I know I was just speeding a little bit.
Right.
And he gave me the ticket and I pulled off. And I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go to court. Deal with it when I get there. And she was like, I would be so mad right now. Like, for one, you got pulled over, you got all these cops behind. Like, I would have been so scared, nervous. I said, what is that going to do for me?
Right.
Like being scared, being nervous, having anxiety about it. That's not a positive thing I need to focus on. That's just negative energy and it's just gonna frustrate me even more. She was like, you're just so positive. Like, And all my other friends was like, yeah, you like always positive, no matter what's happening in the world. I keep a positive attitude about it because I always look at it as there's always somebody else that has it worse off than you. We get a speeding ticket, but you got somebody in another state that's homeless. Like you gotta count your blessings. You gotta count the things that you do have because, like I said, it's somebody that has it worse than you do.
I definitely agree, and I think sometimes we all, maybe lose sight of that. But I'm the same way. I always tell people that, and it be times where I'm real big on self reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm always putting myself in check. I'm always like, okay, April, you can't be telling others this when you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like that's so important too. Whatever we doing, self awareness and knowing how to hold ourselves accountable for,
Exactly.
just keeping it together.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at your sign in the back, the Wright Mentality. I love that name. That's the name of your podcast.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your last name. That's cool.
Yeah, I had to throw it in there somewhere. I love to use my last name in a lot of quotes that I give people, like, you can never go wrong with Wright, or that's right. I was like, okay, I might as well use this name for something.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. That's fire. So how did you start your podcast? Was it like, okay, I see that I'm positive, people tell me I'm positive, let's start a podcast. So how did you come into podcasting?
Uh, I mean, I was trying to figure out how to get my voice out there. Being a counseling student and hearing people is like, man, I love your voice. Like, you should be a radio show host or something. Like I could listen to you all day. And like I was like, you playing with me. But I was like, how can I get it out there? Like I could record myself all day on my phone, but like how can I put it out? So I was like, I started researching, and podcasts, popped up. It was like, this is the best way to reach people, to talk to people. And I was kind of hesitant at first couple of episodes. And it was just one day a guy messaged me on Facebook, because I think I was like probably 6 episodes in, and he was like, hey man, look, let me tell you something. This morning I was about to commit suicide, but I heard your podcast and you was to motivate me and pushing me and like just keep going. And I stopped. So I said, okay, this is where I need to be. Like, this is really what I need to be doing. Like, you never know what one person you're speaking to. You never know. So I just stuck with it from there.
Can you hear me? I at the end I kind of lost you. The volume had went out, so I missed the last part of what you were saying. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the last part you heard?
You say a guy he was about to commit suicide, and he heard your podcast. It kind of went out after that.
Yeah. He said he stopped. And I was, gave him some words of encouragement. Told him, it's not the end, just keep going. He was like, that really helped me this morning. So I'm going to keep listening to you. And, that just told me this is what I need to be doing.
Yeah. Wow. I really think that's just so amazing, because I feel like even when we have enough courage to start doing something, like how you were 6 episodes in, and a lot of times you may be 6 episodes in, or 10 or 20, and you feel like nobody's listening to me. Like, am I really helping somebody? And when a moment like that happens, that's like, wow, it's really mind blowing. That's something that's serious.
It really was. It blew my mind that what I was saying and help somebody stop doing what they were about to do. So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. So aside from podcasting, I followed you on Instagram the other day too. So aside from podcasting and your coaching business, like, what is something you would want to be your overall legacy out of like everything you're doing? What is you could say your legacy? What you would want it to be?
I would say a voice to be remembered by. I want to be that person, like on a daily basis. Most people wake up, you'll check social media, the news, all that stuff like that. When I get up, I listen to motivational speakers. It helps me start my day. Like Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Steve Harvey, T.D. Jakes. I listen to them as soon as I get up. I want to be that for somebody else. I want to, when they wake up in the morning or they're having a rough day, they just cut on the Wright Mentality and boom, this is what I needed for the day. And I have a daughter, so, I want to be that positive role model, that dad that's, positive. The world could be coming to an end. It's going to be okay though. It's going to be okay. But I just want to be that voice that people remember, that it's okay to not be okay, but I have to keep going.
Yeah. Yes. And I feel like that's so important because it seems like we're in a time where it's just so much going on in the world and people are going crazy.
Yes.
Just, so to have podcasts, to have YouTube channels, to have motivational speakers, people who are, just trying to be positive, trying to be the light. I feel like that's so amazing.
Yeah.
So anytime, that's why I love connecting with other like-minded people,
Exactly.
We could be on here talking about all type of crazy stuff, but we on here being positive. We're feeding off each other's energy, and I feel like it's not enough of that in the world.
Yeah.
So that's why I love to use my podcast to promote that. Like, okay, it's somewhere you can go, and we're having real conversations. It ain't about no crazy stuff. It's all positive. It's uplifting. It's relevant. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why, like I say, that's what I use my podcast for. Like I say, we could talk about all kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, what is the craziness? What is that really? How is that helping anybody? Or so I just
very true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just use my podcast, motivate people, uplift people, and just keep it at that, pretty much.
I do the exact same. I do it. Like I have people that want to come on and talk. I had one guy that wanted to come on promote his business, and I was like, okay, hey, I don't mind, but what else do you want to talk about other than your business? Like I'm trying to promote mine as well, but I can't have you come on my show just talking about your business. So what else do you have to offer other than that? Because I'm always going to give you a background of me and what I offer and what's my show about.
Right.
To me, before you reach out to me, do your research. Look at what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Before you just want to come, yeah, man, come out here. Just my shop. Come out here, represent. Like, no, it's cool and all at the end.
Right.
But let's talk about something positive first.
Yes.
So
I completely agree, and it's funny that you say that because I remember when I first started having guests. I think maybe like January this year. So I've had like maybe 3 or 4 guests. And, I put my flyer in the coaching group we're in, the Black Life Coach Connection.
Yeah.
I put flyer in there. That's how I can attract, most of my people.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just put the flyer out there. It was real simple. I said like iron sharpens iron, just about talking to like-minded people, stuff like that. And I had one lady reach out. So she reached out first and, we kind of got everything set up. And then I guess she would listen to my podcast after. And then she emailed me again. And it was kind of like, I guess having different beliefs and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. Yeah. So it kind of went away with that. But now, like when I did my recent flyer, the one that you seen and you reached out, that's why I was very direct. I was said, we talk about join me as we discuss life, love, relationships, and Jesus. So we're not going to leave him out of it. He's in everything I do. So that's why I feel like, okay, after that, I'm like, okay, I have to be more direct about what I'm doing because people, they see a podcast, it's like, okay, it's a chance to get on somebody's show and talk, but it's more to that,
Exactly.
Yeah, so my podcast, your podcast, it represents us. We come on here and talk about what we believe, what we promote. So, yeah, I think just letting people know you have a podcast, and especially people who want to be on it. It's like you got to be real direct these days. Like,
definitely, you definitely do. Because they'll come on and talk about whatever.
Yeah, like, and that's just crazy. You just have to be real direct.
And I do that. I tell people like typically before we talk, I want to have like a 10, 15-minute consult. What do you want to talk about? Like for me, I have people, I always tell the guests, hey, I come up with the topics and I will come up with the questions. But if it's something else that you would like to talk about directed towards mental health, positivity, we can talk about that. If it's not in those realms, you know, I was on a podcast with two girls that was talking, it was a sexual podcast.
Oh Lord.
I don't mind. You invited me to come on the show. I don't mind talking about stuff like that. But if you coming on my show, we're gonna talk about mental health.
Yeah, it's different.
We got that to talk about there. Yeah. And like I said, I always, you know, give you the hand. What would you like to talk about? And if it's not in that field, I'm sorry, I can't have you on the show because that's making me look bad.
Yeah. It really is. Because like I say, your podcast, it represents you. Yep. When people hear it, it's a reflection of you. They're hearing you, even as far as the guests, you know. Mm-hmm. Of course, a person, they're going to say whatever they want to say. You know, that's their mouth. But that's why it should be surrounded around certain topics and stuff like that. So you won't even really have to worry about somebody saying something and you're like, wait, you know? So and that's even more reason for me to be as direct as I am with, you know, having guests. And I feel like that eliminates a lot. Like I said, if I say life, love, relationships, and Jesus, if you don't want to talk about life, love, relationships, if you don't believe in Jesus, you know, so it's like, it's no reason to email me.
At all. And look, me too. Don't, hey, and he here.
Right.
If you ain't talking about it, if he ain't in there, I can't help you.
Yeah. And honestly, it would have caught me off guard, but I would have, I feel like if it, that's adversity, you know.
Yeah.
If it comes, it's an opportunity to share my faith, you know. So it's like, then that's what it's about too. So like I say, it would have been a little weird at first. It would have caught me off guard, but I feel like I would have, you know, handled it the best way I could. So I feel like it would have, you know, it would have worked out. But she, you know, she was like, you know, so I respected it.
We have to. Is everybody is not for everybody. That's how I put it.
So. Yeah, I completely agree. So as far as how long have you been coaching? I don't think I asked you
that. Well, I don't coach, I counsel.
Okay.
What's that? 2019. So started, I was a youth counselor at a detention center for juveniles. I started in 2019. So I was adult correctional officer, and I was kind of trying to figure out life, like at hey, it is what it is. Colonel Sanders started when he was 50, 60 something, but whatever. I was trying to figure out life. So I'm a correctional officer at 27, 28 years old. I'm trying to understand, like, where am I supposed to be at? What am I supposed to be doing? Right. And I was at work one day, inmate. I'm talking to him, trying to give some positive words, whatever. And he was like, you know, man, look, I appreciate it, but go tell a kid that, like, what you telling me ain't helping me. I got 25 to life. So, you know, go tell a kid that. When he said that, it sparked the fire and was like, oh, maybe I do need, because as adults, we're so thick-headed and don't want to listen to what somebody else has to say. Children, although they are thick-headed as well, but they have more leniency and they have more opportunities to get in trouble time and time again, but still have a chance to become something in this world. So, you know, when he said that, 2019, I became a youth counselor. From then, I just stayed in that mental health aspect and went from autistic kids to mental health disability children, ADHD, bipolar, all that stuff. Now back to juveniles. So, it's just in that realm. So we've been going hard for what, 3, 4, 5 years now.
Yeah. I love
it's every day is a test, I will say. Every day is a test.
Yeah. And that was gonna be my next question. How is that?
Of course, children don't want to talk to adults that they do not know, especially authoritative figures. Now, when a child looks at me, they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, what you here for? Like you about to fight or something? I got the muscles. I'm staturing over you," and they looking like, "What's up?" So to me, it's about building that type of rapport with them and getting to know them and them getting to know me. Because I'm not here to get you in trouble. I'm not here to downplay you or make you feel bad. I'm here for you. You tell me what's up. So I would say every day is a challenge because you never know what you're gonna get into every day. You never know what they feeling like. You never know if they're gonna show up. So they take it one day at a time. Oh, you can't hear me? You can't hear me? Hold on. Technology. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, my bad. What you say? What was the last thing you heard?
You was really at the end. You laughed at the end, but I couldn't hear nothing.
I was just saying take it one day at a time. That's
okay,
it.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
I completely agree. I don't know what you got going on with your Wi-Fi over there.
It's janky over here. And it's raining right now, so
yeah. I definitely understand. And so you said you worked at a correctional facility, so a prison.
No, not anymore. I actually work and I work in the home with the kids. So they're not actually juveniles yet, but it's kind of getting close to it. So we're like the intercede to stop that from happening. So we come in, it's more of an evasive type of work that we do. So we see them like 2 or 3 times a week to figure out what we can do, how we can help, where we can intervene to promote better health, better mental health, better relationships in the home, outside the home, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Well, actually, what I had said was you said you previously worked at.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's funny because a few years ago, I worked at a prison. Like, I think this was like 2017, 18. And I was working at a men's prison, which is in, the area where I'm from. And I think a lot of people just go there. It's right there.
Yeah.
Why not go work at the prison? So I pretty much was at a time like that too, where I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing. I guess you really kind of got to go through those seasons where you try different stuff. You don't just wake up and say, this is what I'm meant to be doing. It may work like that for some people. For others, it's like, no, we gotta try different things. We gotta fall. We gotta get back up, and we just gotta keep going to really figure it out. And my experience with the prison, it wasn't that bad. I didn't even work at the prison that long, like for a few months. Mm-hmm. So I did training at I actually did my training at Angola prison. You ever heard of that, Angola? Mm-mm. Okay, so that's like the #1 prison, the biggest prison in Louisiana, I think. So I did my training there. And I worked at one in where I'm from, St. Gabriel. And my experience, it wasn't that bad. That it kind of reminded me of that. Like, it's like having kids. I don't have kids, so maybe that's why I got on my nerves so bad. They were just always, it's like they're asking for stuff they know I can't give them. Yeah. And it's like,
yes.
Oh, like, why? Why do y'all wait till I get on?
That's what they wait for that special person
Yeah.
Listen, they do.
Yeah. So like I say, it wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it, but I've had my field kind of has always been that,
Mhm.
security. I worked at the prison, and the fact that you work with the youth now, it's like that's more so what I want to begin to do, because
Okay.
my life story, my overcomings, my challenges, I feel like it really speaks to the youth.
Mhm.
So where I'm from, it's like I don't really know how to kind of sort of get into it, but I know that's what I want to do. Like, as
Okay.
far as youth mentoring, that's really what I want to do.
Okay. It's it's very rewarding, I would say, just to hear a child say, I think it was before he got out. He told me one day, he was like, Mr. Wright, um, I just want to let you know I love you and I look up to you like a father figure.
Wow.
I was like, you're not about to make me cry, brother. You're not about to do that right
For
now.
real. That's amazing.
And he was like, nah, man, I'm just telling you, like, I really appreciate you, calming me down some days, just talking to me. And, I ain't had it. I don't have my dad, so I don't know what it's like. And he was like, I look up to you like a father figure. And it means a lot because I've been in your shoes. I know what it's like. Like my dad was there, but he really wasn't there. So I can empathize with you as well as sympathize with you. So I know what it's like.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like I say, I feel like the work you do, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So for him to say that, that really, it's like you will feel like you're
Oh, your sound went out.
doing something that really impactful. So yeah, I love that.
It's
So
it's every day. It was an
yeah,
everyday thing.
yeah, that's cool. So I recently did a reel where I talked about distractions. Now we all
I
know,
saw that.
yeah, we all know how distractions are real.
Hmm.
So, which is crazy because right before I got on here, before us to do this episode, I had got notification on my YouTube channel because I posted that reel on my channel, and
Hmm.
somebody said they were saying something like, I can't even remember what they said, but I'm like, okay, so because that's that's a whole different bracket. But I say all that to say, how do you deal with distractions?
Ah,
Let me say this: all distractions aren't
yeah.
aren't bad. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Sometimes
Yeah.
somebody may call and it ain't even a distraction, but it's a distraction for you because you know what you're supposed to be doing at that time. So
Yeah. I guess I would say I would do my best to not get distracted. Um, I would say I am a procrastinator.
yeah,
There are things, if they are not vitally important, I'm not going to spend a lot of time thinking about it. So I will get distracted. But um, dealing with distractions, I would say my best strategy is to write it out. Write it out, talk to myself about it, pray about it, figure out what I can do to fix it. Because honestly, like I had a distraction. Well, I'm still in it, but um, like I said, I just got this job. So I just finished school. So I just graduated in May or June, whatever, whichever one. But when I finished my intern, thank you. When I finished my internship, that was the end of the job.
okay,
So I was out of work for 2 months. And you're an intern in a master's program in a counseling field. They give you just enough money to get by
yeah,
for that semester. So and it's like, okay, what What am I gonna do? What should I do? I'm out here, I'm applying. You got your degree, sir? Not yet. It's on the way. Like, it's on the way. Like, I'm finished. Okay, well, we can't talk to you till you got that degree. Oh, it's a piece of paper, brother, ma'am. It's coming. So those distractions. Now, in the moment when it first hits you, yeah, you get flustered. You get little butterflies in your stomach. Your throat start to close up. But you got to take a step back and look and listen. Like, okay, let me take this one step at a time. Let me write it out. Let me make a plan and figure out what step I need to take and just go step by step. That's all.
Yeah. And I'm big on that too. Like, I have so many journals. I do so much writing. And I never used to do it. But when I came into my season of change and growth, it's like that's all I do now. I never realized how helpful it was to just write. So I feel like that really could be a stress relief within itself. Like, there's always something to worry about, something to stress about. But prayer, I believe in meditation and just writing. Like, that's really so helpful. So I try to tell a lot of people that. But how when you're not used to something, of course, everything new is a challenge. So it's like, okay, I ain't sitting down writing, how I feel. And so I really try to tell people, like you say, everything is one step at a time. And anything new is uncomfortable. I talk about being uncomfortable so much.
Yeah.
So, like, I tell people that so much is like, I guess for me, for a long time, I lived my life in a comfortable space. So, everything I'm doing now, every day of life is uncomfortable because it's new. I'm doing new things. I'm stepping out. I'm connecting with people. But I've come to a place where I enjoy being uncomfortable because I know it's going in a good direction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's uncomfortable, but it's growth. It's just really just growing pains.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So how would you, let's say somebody is, they're positive like you, they're motivating, but they also feel like they don't know how to get their voice out there, or nobody wants to hear them. Like, what would you tell them right now for them to say, okay, after hearing him say that, I want to start speaking, I want to have a podcast, I want to share what I have to offer with other people?
Just do it. just do it. Yeah. It's not about the likes. It's not about how many comments you get, how many follows you get, who listens to it and critiques it. None of that. It's about what you feel you're meant to be doing. And if you feel you need to get your voice out there, like I said, it's somebody that needs to hear what you have to say. You may not know who that person is. I don't always get comments. I don't always get messages that people say, hey, I really needed this today. I'll get them every now and then. I'll get a repost that I didn't even know somebody reposted, like later in the day, and I'll see it. And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know what I said today helped you get up and get motivated. But if you feel that, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to get it out there, just do it. Like, I made a reel about that the other day. Just start. Because if you start, it don't matter where you start. Just start somewhere. If you want to start a podcast, just start it. Your first step could be buying a microphone. That could be a start.
Yeah.
Or starting the website or getting a name. Like, just start somewhere, record on your phone, play it back to yourself. So you sound, if it sounds good to you, throw it out there. Don't matter. It don't matter if you get one listen or 0 listens. I remember TD Jakes had a message one day, and when he first started pastoring, he said his first church, the only people that was in there was him, his wife, and his 2 kids. That was it. Won't nobody else in there. He said, but guess what? I'm going to preach to the birds, the plants, the air. I'm going to talk to somebody. Yeah. And it comes in time. Believe me, the worst part is when you don't get the recognition, when you don't get the money, and you don't get the follows, likes, and comments that you want. That's the frustrating part, because it's like, okay, I've been doing this for 5 years. I ain't seeing that. Like, let me go and stop this. I had a friend tell me, is it bringing you money? Your podcast? Like, I get my sponsorship through Anchor. I think it's like $6 in the bank right now.
Yeah.
He was like, if it's not bringing your money, why you keep doing it? Yeah. I said, bro, getting the money would be nice. That's a plus. Letting somebody hear me and hear what I got to say to inspire them means a lot more. So the money will come in time. I've only been doing this for 8-9 months now. I can't expect greatness in a year when those that have put decades into it. It'll come in time. Patience.
I love that you say that, because it's so true. And that's why it's so important to know your why. Like I always tell people, you have to know why you're doing it. And your why has to be deeper than money.
Exactly.
Because if not, then whatever you're doing, you ain't gonna be doing it for long if it's just about the money.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it'll come in waves. It comes in waves. Like, I'm in the gym working out thinking like, okay, let me just stop doing this. Like, I'm tired. But then you got those days where it's like ideas pop in my head and I come up with great things like, okay, let me talk about this. Let me talk about that. Like, that's when I know, okay, keep going, because it's not the end. It's baby steps.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like I said, everything, whatever you do, it's like I just keep in the back of my mind, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And that's why, like I say, even on the days where I get distracted, even on the days where I'm not motivated, it's like I'll do that too. I pray, I'll listen to motivational speakers. Like I remember one night, I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep. And I ended up on Instagram. And ET.
Yeah. 3 a.m.
So motivated. He's so pumped. Like literally, that's what he do. And been doing it for years. Like And like I said, I'm half asleep. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, but listening to him, like he woke me up.
Exactly. And he does that on a regular. Just listening to his story makes me keep going. Because hey, he was in homeless for years? Come on, man.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll have those times where I kind of struggle with being impatient. It's like, okay, I want this. And even that, it's like, it will come.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, as long as you put in the work, really be consistent, really be disciplined, it's like the rest gonna flow. The rest is gonna come. It may not come when we want to, but it will come. And I'm a firm believer in that. So
that's one of my quotes. That's one of my quotes. When you change your mentality, I don't know if you can see it, but when you change your mentality, everything else flows.
Yeah, I seen that on the bottom of your email. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I could say for me, that was one of the things that when I changed my mindset, like it just opened up so much for me, so many opportunities, so many possibilities. But for years, I didn't have the mindset I have now. I wasn't operating in a growth mindset. I really had a fixed mindset. Like, and I tell people this all the time, I had like a settle type of mindset. And it's like, okay, let me go to school, get a degree, and just do this one thing forever. And it's like, of course, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking anybody who do that. But it's like when you realize about all the gifts God has given us, all the talents, and we're supposed to use it to fulfill our purpose. So I'll be doing it credit to myself by saying, okay, I'm gonna just do this one thing forever, even if I don't really like it.
Yeah,
You see what
absolutely.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like mindset, just that word. Mindset is everything. So
It definitely is.
it's everything. So what is your advice to somebody who may be struggling with that? They may not be operating in their full capacity. They may not have the right mindset to get where they need to get next. Like what is the best advice you could give them as far as changing their mindset? How to even start to change their mindset?
I would say make a plan. Um, Make a plan. Like I said, write it out, because it's a lot that goes on in our minds. It's a battlefield. It's you go into war with yourself in your own head, trying to think of different things that you can't do. So that's why I say write it out and make a plan, because when you plan, you know exactly what I need to do to get certain things done. So you plan. I can't remember who said it. I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger or Joe Rogan, but I can't quite remember. But they said plan today for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the things that you don't get done today, get it done tomorrow. Write it out. When you write things out, it outlines your day, so that, okay, when I get up, I need to do boom, 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 boom. But you have to be consistent. Persistent is the key. If you are not either of those, you will fail.
Completely agree.
If you go out here, tell yourself, yeah, go after it. You're going to get people that's going to tell you no. You're going to get people that's going to say you ain't built for this. You're going to get people that's going to shut you down, tell you no, close the door, all of that stuff. That one door that they close, it's another one around the corner. You just got to walk to it. Every opportunity that is taken away from you, is always another one out there. So when people tell me, all right, man, I don't want to do this no more, I'm tired, I'm going to just give up. I always say, you always need to give out before you ever give up. Now, when I say give out, that's like me when I'm in the gym and I'm lifting weights and it's heavy and I'm tired and I'm ready to stop. And my mind is telling me to stop. No, you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing, push through the pain, then you get the results on. So that person that need that motivation, that inspiration, where do I start? Start today. Where do I start? Start in that notebook. Write it out, plan it out, get it moving.
Yeah, I love that. And I love what you said. You said, I don't want to mess it up. You said you have to give out before you give up.
Yes.
That's a word.
Yes.
I could take that and run with it. That's a word when you think about that.
It's when you give out, you tired, you crawling, you begging for help, but you haven't given up.
Yes.
When you give up, I'm done. Like I that's a job. I quit. I'm tired. I ain't coming back here no more. I'm done. Those are those that give up. Those that give out, you just take a break and you come back at it later. That's all.
Yeah. Like I say, I love that. You could take that and run with it. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's a book. That's a shirt. Like, it's really so much you could do there. You literally could take off with that. So, man, if you haven't did it already, make sure you do something with that.
I actually saw that on a shirt. That's where I got it from. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Look, somebody they was already thinking, because that's, and I don't think I've heard a lot of stuff, but I don't think I've heard that or seen that.
Okay.
And that really resonates with me, because that's so true. It's like, okay, that's like if I would have did my first podcast episode or second one, and I feel like nobody listening, and I'm ready to, just give up. It's like, okay, I ain't gave enough. I only put out 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
you really could use that in reference with anything,
Yep.
anything anybody's doing, any type of business. Like, okay, you can't give up yet. Don't give up because you haven't gave enough.
That right there, that is, oh, that's the thing. A lot of people early, and you haven't even put time in yet.
Yeah.
You haven't put a year, 2 years, 5 years in, and you ready to give up. Like, keep going. Like, it's not meant. If God gave us what we wanted when we wanted it, we wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So be patient.
Yes. I completely agree. Like, even when times where we felt like we wanted certain things, I thank God for certain things I didn't get, certain prayers that wasn't answered.
Yeah. What you talking about?
Like,
Yes.
think you want, but then you like, oh, thank you, Lord. Like, I'm glad you ain't answered that prayer. I'm glad you ain't
Thank you.
That. Yeah.
Yes.
Look, I don't think we talk about prayers being answered and you know, God blessing us, but we don't talk enough about the things that he did give us.
Exactly. Because there's some stuff that I asked for that I did not need.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I could talk about that all day, but that's funny. It really is. But so aside from, you have a merch brand, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me show you. The Wright Mentality, you know, that's all of that out here. You know, we're working. It's it takes time, but yeah.
I love that. So it's a mic, and what's that around it? Like is it a
so flower? The brain is the outside part. That's the brain, which is mental health, symbolize mental health. The mic is, well, let me show you because of course, the mic, the brain, the mic is the podcast, and then the leaves symbolize growth.
Okay. Oh, that's different.
Yeah, that's why I was like, because the guy that made it for me, I told him it was so amazing. I told him, I said, I have a podcast, I work in mental health, and I'm trying to inspire and motivate people. Yeah. Oh, he just came up with it. And now first one ain't look like this. So I had to, tweak it a little bit. But when we came up, So I love it. A lot of people was like, man, I love it. I love the idea of it, and it's different. So
I love that. And like, I'm glad I asked about it, because I was looking at it as if it's a mic and like a flower. But the fact that it's a brain,
a lot of people ask that. Yeah. And like when I first did it, like I put the description on there. I told people, I was like, it's the brain, the mic, and the leaves. Yeah. I was like, why you got that big flower around that microphone? Okay, whatever.
That's funny. Yeah, that I wasn't even thinking like that. Like, once you said brain, I'm like, literally, that's what it is. Like, I wasn't even thinking like that. I'm glad you explained that. So that's super cool. Your podcast, working in counseling, your brand. So is there anything you want to share, that anything you may have coming up that you just want to put out there for people to know about, or is it kind of not yet? Y'all don't need to know yet?
We working. We've got some things in the mix. Working on a conference.
Okay.
The motivational speaking conference. Having a couple of speakers. I got 2. Trying to get a couple of more. It's really hard to get men in this field. But I give me. It really is. But working on that right now. Working on mentorship for young African American boys. It's a lot going on, trying to get my clothes out there a little bit more, talk to kids, talk to parents, all that stuff. As much as I can give of myself is what I'm trying to do before I leave this earth, because I can't stay here forever.
Yes, tap in. Tap in before. I can't remember who I heard it say, but she was like, you got to tap in before you tap out. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Gotta do what we gotta do while we're here.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. I love and I support everything you do, especially with the youth, because like I say, that's something I'm trying to get more into. And I know it's gonna take me more time to really figure everything out and see where I fit in, but everything's gonna come together. I believe it. And you said conferences. I love that because I want to do more of that. I do.
Yeah, I did my first one. I was a guest in I did one. And that just opened my eyes to like, okay, like it's time to turn up, sir. Like it's time to turn up. So yeah, I'm working on it right now. You know, got the ticket prices, working on the guests, music, all that stuff. But yeah, we it's coming together. And you know, of course, always I got my podcast. It comes out on Mondays and Fridays. So yeah.
I love that. And so when you do it, it'll be where you live in North Carolina?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think you're like the third guest I've had who lives in North Carolina. So there might be something on there. I might need to. I've never been to North Carolina. That's a place. I've never been to North Carolina, so I may have a trip out there.
Ain't much here. Ain't much here.
Is it like small country? Is it that type of?
Depending on what part you in. I would just say you can find stuff to do, but I've been here for 32 years, so ain't much.
That sounds like me. Well, I've been here a while. I'm ready to, see what else is out there. But something like that, I definitely want to, travel more to attend conferences and stuff like that. I'm getting more into that. It's crazy because everybody I talk to, they'll say coaching and speaking go hand in hand, which it do. But for me, it's like I want more of the speaking side and not as much.
Yeah.
So figuring out how to do that within itself is a challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm working. I'm working on that.
We all working. Yes.
Yeah, we're working. We're working. So yeah, but thank you for coming on here. Like I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for coming on here. Before we get off here, is there anything you just want to say, share, throw out there?
Keep the right mentality, don't give up, keep going, keep pushing. It ain't the end of the road. You can follow me, Instagram, Facebook, The Wright Mentality, all that good stuff. Keep the right mentality. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. So before we get off here, just share all your social media and your website, and make sure you send me an email with all your stuff. So whenever I post the episode, I'm gonna make sure I tag all your stuff.
Got you. Okay. You can find me Instagram. I got 2 accounts. Fire_man24 or The Wright Mentality. Facebook, Antonio Wright. It's not private, so you can just add me. Also The Wright Mentality. Twitter, The Wright Mentality 21. Merch is on www.thewrightmentalitybrand.com. And I do a little funnies on TikTok, if you so choose. Same name, The Wright. Actually, The Wright Mentality. Yeah, it's all The Wright Mentality. Yeah.
Literally everything, The Wright Mentality. I love
everything.
Every single thing. That's cool. That's cool. But like I said, thank you for coming on here. I really enjoyed it.
Yes. Thank you for having
me. Yeah. And I think are you accepting guests on yours? I think I seen you post that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure I have to make sure I send you an email.
Okay.
Cool. Get that set up.
Cool. Sound good.
Once again, thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.